Tabouli. I stole this recipe kind of from HelloFresh. I will link the ingredients down below, but I'm going to show everybody this is a good Sunday meal prep. And we're going to break this down into three main sections. We're going to cook off our bulgur, wheat bulgur. Bob's Red Mill makes this. It's in a lot of Kroger stores and should be available near you. Got about a teaspoon of salt. This is what we're going to start with first. You don't actually have to boil the bulgur all the way. All that you got to do is get the water boiling with some lemon juice and some harissa seasoning in the water. And then we're just going to let it sit with the heat off and let it kind of just cook like that. So set it and forget it. Okay, so water's coming up to a boil. Oven is preheating because the second part of this is going to be the roasted chickpeas and roasted peppers. So I'm going to dice up the peppers. I already rinsed the chickpeas. Going to toss those in a little olive oil and salt and pepper. In fact, we'll just start with that right away. Try to get a little prep going here, but I hope everybody's having a lovely day. This really is one of my favorite little, call it I guess a salad. Well, not really. I'm not sure what to call it. It's delicious. It's got a lot of fresh flavors, and I think it's really easy to make. There's a little bit of protein from the chickpeas and the wheat bulgur, so I think that works out okay. And my mom actually used to make this, and I think her recipe book was actually like a second or third cousin of mine. It was in a handwritten cookbook, like the cookbook pages were actually handwritten, you know what I mean? I always thought that was kind of nifty. Like I said, I was kind of reinvigorated when I did the HelloFresh tabouli that they had. But they use things like Roma tomatoes, and I just don't think that the Roma tomatoes do a very good job. Ooh. So I get kind of the little grape tomatoes or like an on the vine grape tomato. I just think those have a better flavor than the Romas. You'll see those in a moment. And honestly, just dice. This is Sunday meal prep. We got other things to do. There's football to watch. There's other things to do. I don't really care if there's some big pieces, some small pieces. It's nice variety. Okay, so bell peppers chopped, rinsed chickpeas. I have 2 cans in there. And then we're going to hit it with a little olive oil. A little bit of salt. And then this is really the good stuff. And this harissa is, I had to order this on Amazon. I cannot find this in the Kroger's. King Soopers near me. I don't know. It's a really good flavor. Maybe it's not for everybody, but I think it's delicious. I need a little more flow here. Whoa. Okay. Delicious. And I'm just going to put a little extra oil down on this. Okay, and I'm going to put this on to broil. My oven is not very powerful, so I just put it on 500-degree broil. And that's step 1. Water's still coming up to a boil for the bulgur. So the next thing, this is our fresh side of the equation. So we've got some Persian cucumbers, or English cucumbers, one of them. Some green onion, scallion, and then some of those tomatoes like I mentioned. And I just think these are better than the Romas. Those taste good. Okay. I actually am probably going to save this for salads. because that's a lot of cuke. So cut those into fours, pretty much down the middle. I don't know. You know, I usually remove the little bit of seeds here. I don't know. I know you're supposed to remove the seeds when you're making like tzatziki sauce and stuff, because sometimes the seeds can be extra watery, but now on the bigger pieces, split those one more time. Just nice little bits. Okay, pause. We've got boiling water here. I'm going to cut the heat. So again, bulgur. By the way, you can drain if there's too much water. I did about 3 cups of bulgur and 4 cups of water. But you can always drain if there's extra liquid in the bulgur. That's what it has on the instructions. And I just like doing it by now turning the heat completely off, because then it just kind of slowly absorbs the water. And that's just kind of a set, like I said, set it and forget it. I do like to put a little harissa in here to kind of start to flavor. It's a little over a tablespoon. And then I actually put a little bit of lemon juice into the water as well. And I don't feel like it's Sunday meal prep. I got other things to do. I don't feel like doing fresh lemons today. You know, we could do zest. We could zest, but I don't feel like it today. Okay. So, heat off. That's it. I'm only going to have to check on the chickpeas and the peppers every 10 or so minutes. I mean, they really don't. They're going to be fully cooked, and I don't think they're going to burn with the strength of my oven. And you know what? I'm just going to go for it. We're not even taking the seeds out of these cukes right here. Some extra big slices. Just go for it. Okay. I'm going to have a separate bowl here to collect all of my non-cooked ingredients. And then for the scallions, that all just depends on, you know, if you don't like kind of, these are the strongest, one of the stronger flavors, I suppose. I definitely like to have this as a garnish, and I'm definitely going to garnish the top of mine. I'll probably use these in some eggs, the bottoms, but we don't need to go too crazy, and I'm just going to grab a little bowl to set aside some of the top green ones for garnish. Actually, I will cut up some more. Okay. Okay, tomatoes are going to be kind of the most work intensive because I do like to quarter them, and then I like to put them back in a colander so that they kind of, so that some of the extra liquid kind of drains out of them, if you will. You can always just have them. I know some people use the trick where they kind of put like a, I don't know, like a lid of something, and then they kind of put their knife through, but I just think for this case, I will just take the time to quarter them, even though it is kind of time consuming. That's okay. I have made this for, let's see, I sent this dish with my wife. She took it to a bachelorette party, and the main report was, hey, the bachelorette party had a lot of, you know, kind of mayonnaise-based potato salad type of things, and they said, good thing that we had your Tabouli, Chris, because that was just kind of lighter. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're going to be doing some German potato salad. Oh, yeah. But we're definitely going to do that, but I think this provides a really nice light crunch. I am meal prepping this. You know, After a few days, like all that lemon juice, you know, because we're gonna pour extra lemon juice on top of this to give it that lemony flavor. This is best day of, but if you're doing it for a meal prep in the container like day of, you could do a little extra drizzle of olive oil and a little extra splash of lemon juice to kind of waken it up a little bit. It's not like it's bad. It's only gonna be like 2 days, but I will say day one is peak Tabouli. You know what? And just for the fun of it, I'm going to quick check. Oh yeah. I mean, we're not browning. Well, maybe just a tad bit, but it's not like it's burning. Yeah, it's not, we're not over, it's not over. I'll give those a few more minutes and then I'll mix them around a little bit. But this is kind of nice. I am trying to keep the pace up just for the sake of the viewer, but I really do think this is a really simple one, and I wish, you know, I can't make this for all my friends. I wish I could. That would be awesome every week. But I also want to empower them and empower you to try this yourself. Because really only checking the oven right now, we can take our time with the tomatoes. There's no rush here. You know, we can take our time with the tomatoes. The bulgur on the stovetop, that's fine. Sitting there. We don't need to worry about it. And those veggies in the oven aren't, they're looking good. And look at that, before you know it, we're almost done. And I think these look nice. I think the quartered pieces look nice. Okay, and like I said, back into the colander to just let that kind of drain over the sink. Do a little cleanup here. Okay, so that's kind of, the crazy thing is of course when we do the final mix up of all these ingredients, I may have extra bulgur. Three cups may be a little excess, but I can just put some off to the side. We need to make sure that before we mix the cucumbers and the tomatoes and everybody all together, and the feta cheese, that we want to make sure these cool. So there will be a break in the video here, and then I'll end up showing you guys the final assembly. But that's kind of the basis of it. Again, that's going to drain. We got this. Oop, look at that. That's just going to drain for a little while. So I think we'll take a little break. I'll give you a little, let's bring you over here. Yeah, I'm going to fluff that. Looks good. Okay, well, we'll be back in a jiffy. All right, let's do a little check. Might be a little steam here. Pardon my steam. Okay, got a little browning action going on there. And that's nice because this kind of dries it out. I like with the chickpeas don't necessarily get crunchy per se, and not that I think I'd want full crunch factor, but a minor little a dehydration factor on them sounds good. We're not going crunchy. And by the way, Harissa, I mean, I hope if you try it, and I hope if you get the chance to try this, I hope you like Harissa. I think it smells lovely. And it's just kind of a nice, I don't use it anything else, so I feel like it's remained special. Okay, back in the oven. And honestly, based on this coloring here, we're close, and these are starting to get soft. Excuse me, so just a few more minutes. Okay. And again, this has been just sitting off heat. You can see that's already kind of fluffing up a little bit. And honestly, I don't really time it. That's it. I like that this stays a little crunchy. Getting a lot of good lemon flavor. Okay. And then I like these flat pans because then that cools off. And I'll kind of keep mixing that to make sure that cools off as quickly as it should. Okay. And then let's see. Nah, we're gonna leave those in. Okay. See you in a second. Welcome back. Okay. I like to break up the feta. This can go into our cold vegetables. And I feel like this, the feta, is really the other factor in this that really gives it a, I don't know, another nice pop of flavor, nice contrast to the harissa. And my wife likes the feta, so I usually put a little extra in. Cool. Next. And by the way, these peppers and chickpeas have gone probably for a total of 15 to 20. I've checked on them twice, and lovely. Oven off. And you can see we've got some nice browning. Of course, peppers are cooked. So those can start cooling right next to the harissa that is cooling. And while that's sitting in here, I'll just kind of fluff this up. Because I really do think if you overcook the wheat bulgur, that's fine. Mistakes happen. I've certainly done it. But I do like when the wheat bulgur has a little crunchy bit of a texture. It's really unique. It's not like quinoa or rice or anything. It's got a nice little crunch to it. So we are at the point where I'm just going to put a little additional lemon juice in with the veggies here. And I will salt that just lightly, especially for the tomatoes. And this is all getting mixed together, so I'm going to use this. Look at that. Oh, awesome. So, we are ready to assemble, but of course, we want those to be fully cooled off before we incorporate everything together. So we'll take a nice little break once more. That's off, light is off. And once these are fully cooled down, we will mix together and give it a taste. Welcome back. So I have no patience, and this is still a tad bit warm, but I'm going to kind of show you how I would assemble this, because mixing this all together could be a little tricky. Because we've seasoned everything, what we can do is, just so I can do a little taste tester, I will scoop some of the bulgur in here, throw on some of our roasted peppers and chickpeas, scoop on a nice portion of that green onion tomato. I want some more tomatoes. Okay. And then a little sprinkle of a garnish, just for something fancy. And that is Chris's Tabouli. Let's go in for a little taste. You've got, oh boy. So we've got just a nice variety of flavors. It's hearty but fresh, crunchy, refreshing, a little zesty, a little heat from the Harissa. It's the total package, really for any time of year, I'd say. So cheers. Thanks for joining me. What do we got to do next week? We got to do something fun. I think we got to do German potato salad. So let me know. I'm going to mess around with the format, but I just want to encourage my friends, anybody else, to give it a shot, make some mistakes cooking, and be well. See ya.